god, my neck hurts so much. I don't know what's happened, but the last few days I just like haven't been sleeping very well. I don't even know why. Like normally I sleep fine, but like, god damn it man, my neck is so sore. Anyway, it's currently Sunday. And this last week has been absolutely wild, right? For a start, I didn't expect this to be my last week at work. So as a result, I was just coming home absolutely drained because I was thinking, right, if I make it a Friday, make it a Friday, just gotta grind out these last few tasks, get this week out of the way. I'd come home and I'd see my bed and I was just like, dude, I need to nap. I was just like absolutely necking Pink Monster pretty much all week. I've developed quite the addiction. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. There's literally a bag in the kitchen that's just full of used Monsters. Yeah, anyway, that's completely unimportant. Weather's not looking all that great today, so I think today's like the day to lock in and, you know, come down from my dopamine high over the last few days. But we'll get into that in a second. I guess there's 4 main things I kind of want to cover in this video. So the first one is my last week, and more importantly, my last day at work. And I guess just Friday, Saturday, the whole series of events, because quite a lot of stuff went on. Second one's going to be a little bit about the first project that I'm making, how I'm planning on developing it and marketing it and selling it eventually. So what I'll do is I'll transition to a sort of Loom style video where I share my screen and I'll show you all the development work and how I'm setting up my Instagram page, yada yada yada, just going to get that all laid out. Third point, I want to talk a little bit about how AI is making starting a personal brand a lot easier and some of the barriers that it just completely eliminates. The last one's a little bit more personal, but I want to outline a few thoughts that I've been having, or just a few sort of things that I've noticed since I started making this transition from I'm quitting my 9 to 5 and I'm going and doing what I want to do instead, because this is quite interesting. But we'll get to that, I'll leave that. We go again. So part 1, my last day at work. Friday. Honestly, it came a lot quicker than I was expecting to. So I handed in my notice on Monday with the intention that I would quit on the 22nd of August, now the 3rd of August, and I've basically already left. I think what happened was my manager had a couple of plans for me to finish off this week, and they basically said to me, right, well, there's no point in giving you extra work because you've already sort of mentally quit. So yeah, that sounded pretty good to me. I can remember I was sat in the room with him on Tuesday and he was saying all this stuff to him, and I was just sitting back in my chair. I was like, shit, is this actually happening? I just couldn't believe it, and now here I am. I'm free. It's Sunday, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking, wait, I gotta get ready for work tomorrow, but no I don't, which is, it's kind of scary, but it's also, there's just so much to look forward to. I've got everything all planned out, there's so much stuff I want to do. Gonna go see my dad next weekend, so there'll be some super sick footage of me down in Torquay, just like living it up. Okay, not really living it up, but I'll try and get some footage down there, which would be absolutely fantastic. Following that, Friday, my last day, I walked out, had this massive smile on my face. Everybody was super supportive, like, oh, go on Josh, you're gonna smash this is the right thing to do. I decided it's emo night. I'm gonna be surrounded by emo nerds and goth girls, and there's gonna be heavy metal, so I thought, screw it, let's go. None of my other mates were out, so I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go there anyway. Had a couple of drinks, I was like, right, cool, got some drinks, I've listened to some music, hyped myself up, walked on down, went in, just like started talking to people, absolutely well and good. Like everybody there's just so friendly. It's like an event like that where it's a themed night out, especially in a club like Canteen. You can kind of just walk in and, I mean, everybody's there, just there for the mosh pits and emo music. So went to the bar, got a beer, down to the mosh pit, boom, straight in, just like headbanging, heavy metal. I think I was wearing like bright white as well, which was just absolutely fantastic because everybody else was in black. I was like, well, what if I wore like just like the brightest white clothing? It was just such a good way to sort of release attention. Friday night was, I need this. I really need this, man. And yeah, I just think it was such a good way to end the week. But yeah, no, it was just a really good night. I mean, I'll put some footage up. You can probably, I might overlay the footage over my voice or whatever. I haven't really planned this out very well. Here's me dancing on a, well, I don't even know what I'm doing, but it looks like I'm having a good time. The whole night was super good fun. It was just me, the emo nerds, the goth girls, this, that and the other. There was heavy metal. It was just generally a fantastic night. I want to make it very clear, was just a dopamine high, and I need to be super careful that I don't fall into that trap now that I'm not working. Alright, cool. I've got my phone as my microphone because I re-recorded this yesterday and it just went. The audio quality was shit. Anyway, this is section 2 where I outline very briefly what my brand is, what my product is, and very roughly what the problem is that I'm trying to solve. So, I'm going to dive in really quickly. So this is my brand page. Basically just Reels advertising my app, I guess you could say. There's nothing more to it. Problem that I'm trying to solve, I'm going to use this guy's Instagram as an example, is you see all these Reels here. Some of them have fairly decent reach. Some of them maybe get up to, on average, like a few hundred views, let's say. There's some cases where fitness influencers like this guy will get up to maybe a few thousand views, all well and good, but the main thing is that they have consistency. They have a consistent style and they've got a very clear sort of thing that they're trying to sell, I guess you could say. What we're trying to do here is take the link in their bio one step further and allow them, using a custom built landing page that I've pre-prepared here. This is just one that I mocked up. I'll be able to give this to my client when I do eventually land them, and it'll also come with this dashboard here where they can enter in their Reels as sort of campaigns, and it'll be able to track entirely through the application which of their Reels got the best conversion rate, and then they can go back to their account and say, right, this style over here, which it may have a lot of views, but it might not necessarily convert into clicks or them selling their product. And that is the problem, very briefly, that I'm trying to solve. Alright, video number 3. So, this is just going to be a really short section, but I kind of wanted to highlight a few points. So recently I watched a video by a YouTuber called Iman Gadzhi. I'm going to link the video in the description. Basically about how AI has completely killed the learning curve. So it all boils down to the fact that it's easier now than ever to make money online because of AI tools and because of social media. Essentially, the barrier to entry is so low thanks to AI and social media and platforms like YouTube for that matter, that the common person, such as myself, can get into it quite easily, but not enough people are doing it just yet. However, it's only going to grow exponentially as more and more people figure out, oh shit, you can make money online. So that's kind of what's triggered me to go, fuck it, it's now or never basically. So very quickly, there's essentially 3 barriers that lock people out of, well, sucking everything up and moving to a different country to start an online business. The first one is capital requirements. It used to be the case that you would spend loads of money on things like ads or copy for your website or what have you. All of that's been completely obliterated because you've got AI tools which cost as much as a Netflix subscription, that you can just say, I want you to design this, give me copy for that, yada yada, and it does it better than any human can, which is quite scary. The second point is the knowledge requirement, and this also comes from AI, right? Nowadays, and this is quite domain specific, especially being a software engineer, vibe coding is starting to get frighteningly good. There are tools online now where you can literally just feed them a prompt and say, design me a tool that does X or scrapes this information from these sources. And not only will they write you the code and give it to you, but some of these tools are even powerful enough to go and deploy it on their own. Obviously this comes with subscription fees and having to buy credits, but at the same time, this is a really good example of how the knowledge barrier has just been completely obliterated. But we're not only seeing that with vibe coding, but we're also seeing it with copywriting, SEO, selling psychology, marketing. Everything has just been obliterated by AI, which can do all of these things way better than any human can. And that completely levels the playing field. The final one is marketing access requirements. So it used to be the case apparently 10 or 20 years ago or so, where social media wasn't really that big. If you wanted to go and sell a product or find clients to sell a product to, you would either have to spend tons of money on ads or you would just have to know the right people. But now, thanks to platforms like LinkedIn, like YouTube, Instagram, even TikTok to a certain extent, finding clients for your product is ridiculously easy. So this is my message me to you, saying that if you've had an idea for something and you've never thought to act on it, then now is a pretty damn good time to do it. And if you follow my YouTube and you watch these videos of me testing random stuff and just seeing what works, then I really hope that I can make this seem more and more accessible to you. Right then, now that you've watched through all the boring crap at the beginning of the video, I'm going to reward you with the rogue stuff. This is where you'll start to see the real Josh. And trust me, this stuff's really good. I really hope that you get a lot of value out of this part of the video, and I hope that some of the things that I mention maybe even help open up your eyes to what's possible. So, what happens when you go all in on something that you've been wanting to do for so long but have just felt so drawn back and not wanting to do it? Well, I've narrowed it down to 4 main things. So, the first one is that you'll get a massive confidence boost. You stop seeking the approval of other people because you know deep down that this is what you want so badly that if anybody comes at you and says, oh no, you're wrong, you can't do that, that it goes against this rule, or like nobody else is doing that, well yeah, of course nobody else is doing that. But you're so aligned to your own truth that it's like, yeah, who cares? If loving this thing is wrong, then I don't want to be right. Okay, so the second one is you start to discover your self-worth. Let me tell you a story. So recently, when I announced on my LinkedIn that I had resigned from my job role, a connection that I previously did a short internship with a couple of years ago reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in a new role. And I said to them, like, look, I'm not looking for work. I'm looking to go traveling and build up my own personal brand. And I know that they were looking for an app developer. So I said, look, this is what I'm looking at building. I'm looking at building up a presence and actually delivering projects. So if I were to work for you, it would be something where I'd develop it remotely and it would be on my terms. And believe it or not, they came back to me and said, that's cool. Do you want to come visit us at some point later in the week and discuss this? And I said, yeah, sure. And that's just because I set boundaries. I was like, look, I said, I'm not looking for a job, but here's what I can do. Okay, so the third one, and this comes with another story, is that you'll start to feel an inclination to help other people solve their problems. And it's not more of a, I'm doing this to prove it to you. It's more of a, I have this ability to help you solve something. I'm doing this because it resonates with me. It makes me feel good. Every time you go and do something where your heart has said, Josh, you need to do that, and then you go do it, you feel just generally good. I don't even know how to explain it, but you kind of just have to trust me on it. There was this one guy that I met in the gym today. We get to talking, I tell him that I graduated from the university a couple of years ago and I've just finished my job as a data scientist. And he tells me a little bit of his backstory and he says, I'm looking at opening a restaurant in Lancaster. And I was like, cool, that sounds awesome. Like, I can't believe, like, I've never met anybody at the gym who's like my age, who says that they're starting a restaurant. I just think that's awesome, right? So we're having this conversation, he's telling me about the restaurant, he says, yeah, I'll be opening it in September. I'm like, dude, I'm leaving in the back end of August. So he shows me his Instagram page. It's obviously literally just made the account. And I take a look at it, I'm like, oh, cool, have you got a website for it? He shows me the website, and he says, oh yeah, we're still in the process of planning our content, this, that, and the other. So I pull up another page of another restaurant in town, and I show him just some examples of footage. I was like, dude, you should look at making content like this. Like, you should create small snippets of the food that you're gonna be selling, snippets of you guys renovating, maybe some videos like walking around Lancaster like this restaurant has done, showing where your restaurant is going to be. If you build up all that hype beforehand, it means that when it comes to opening, you're going to have loads of people flooding through the door because you've hyped it up so much. And that's kind of just the power of social media, right? So that's what eventually led me to, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would see on my story. I thought, this account doesn't have that many followers. Let's see if we can get it to his first 25 followers. I don't know how well it's going, but just the act of seeing it and seeing somebody else try and build something, it made me think, damn, how can I help you to build this? Like, I wasn't expecting anything in return. I said to him, you know, we should stay in touch, and like if you need any help with like social media marketing or building a website, like feel free to hit me up. And that came from a place of like, I just want to do this just because I think, because I want to, not because I'm expecting anything in return from him. And I think that's such a powerful energy to walk into building your own personal brand with, because it means that it's actually resonating with your soul, and you're not, you know, desperate for money, selling crypto, or, you know, going into all these other fake making money online gimmicks. The last one, and this one is quite raw. Things that seem impossible start to become possible. So when I handed in my resignation on my final day, I was met with, I expected that I would have thought, Josh, like, what have you done? Like, there's such a stupid mistake. But as soon as I hit send, I was like, yeah, that was the right thing to do. I'm so glad I did that. Like, why didn't I do that sooner? I think my external finally caught up with my internal. So for so long I've been going, right, I need to, this is what I want to do in life. And then finally I made the action that would act as the catalyst for that to happen. And it was just the greatest feeling. As a result of that, my thoughts regarding moving to a new country that I've never been to before, with people that I've never even met before, all of a sudden didn't really seem that daunting. I was like, well, this is what I want, so I know that I'm just going to make it work. Making money online, I know that I've done that before. So all I need to do is just do it again, right? Going into a nightclub solo, well, I came home with somebody, so anything's possible. Anything's possible. And I'm gonna leave the video on that one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I really hope you'll be part of this journey. Cool. Bye.